So I've been coming to New York for years. This is the first time I've driven through the city. In fact, I'm driving right through Times Square right now. And it's easy. I don't know why I was so panicked. Driving in Belfast is worse than driving in Manhattan, trust me. The traffic isn't moving that fast, and the entire city is in blocks, is in grids. So far be it from one of the most difficult places to drive, this is actually probably one of the easiest places I've ever driven anywhere. Right, so a lot of people think I'm on holiday. Well, I kind of am on holiday, but the main purpose to come to the States this time round was to actually leave my daughter in summer camp. She's staying out here for the summer, and I came out a few days earlier with her just to kind of combine it with a little bit of a holiday. So anyway, she's away now to camp. I'm staying on a little bit. I'm in New York for the first time ever by myself, which is great because I'm not having to listen to anyone else tell me where they want to go and what they want to do. And I can pretty much be left to my own devices just to putter around the incredible Times Square and for the first time ever do what I want to do, which, let's be honest, is normally going to be something to do with food or something very geeky. So I'll start with the geeky stuff. Right, so the famous electronic Times Square billboards that are all over these buildings the whole way around here, their value is so much so that most of these buildings are empty because having these big billboards slapped up on them is more valuable to the owners than actually renting out the space in these buildings. So they're effectively a facade, and most of these buildings are just used for the purpose of sticking these big billboards on it. The reason being, if you want to advertise up there, it'll cost up to $4 million a year. Hardly surprising. Look how many people are here. 100 million people will see your ad every single year if you advertise on one of these. And this is one of the biggest billboards, this one right here, in the world. That there is the size of 20 New York one-bed apartments. It's 15,000 square feet. This makes a nice change actually, because any time I've been here before I haven't been able to move here because usually the famous Rockefeller Christmas tree is there from November to January, and this place is absolutely bunged. And of course that's the ice rink there, although with it being June that's now being used for roller skating instead. So this is actually quite nice to see it relatively empty, and in fact right there is where Kevin McAllister from Home Alone sat waiting for his mum to find him at the end of the movie, Home Alone 2, right there on that wall. The New York Public Library right there. This was the set for many famous movies. I'll name a few. 2002, Spider-Man. It was central to a plot in that. 2004, do you remember the apocalypse movie, The Day After Tomorrow? That was where they went to hang out and seek refuge. You may remember the big boat came down this street with wolves on it when the entire New York was supposedly flooded. Don't really know what was going on in that movie, to be honest. And also famously, you'll remember these lions, and that being the location for Ghostbusters, where they went in to fight the ghost librarian in their Empire State Building up there. Of course, filming location of, let me get this, Superman 2, Independence Day, Sleepless in Seattle, and probably every single King Kong movie ever, because of course Kong scales the Empire State Building. But the best movie to have been filmed up here at the Empire State Building, well, of course, it's the Christmas classic Elf. So while a good part of the movie is set around the Empire State Building, because of course that's where Elf's dad, Walter Hobbs, works, it was actually here in this building across the road where a very famous scene was filmed, right here in these revolving doors. That's where Will Ferrell, Buddy the Elf, goes absolutely ballistic in these doors right here, just this building across the road. In fact, I think it's like a burger joint or something like that. Okay, final little bonus one since I'm walking past here. Name that movie. Need a clue? Maybe that'll help. Yep, this is where the Miracle on 34th Street movies were set and based around. Of course, it's the world famous Macy's. They wouldn't give permission for the Miracle on 34th Street 90s adaptation with Richard Attenborough to use the name Macy's, so it was renamed to Kohl's for the movie. Up there is where it was announced that Santa Claus wins and was innocent. And of course the crowd down here in the street go mad because they find out Santa Claus does in fact exist. Back in the 1940s, for the first miracle on 34th Street, this used to be called Gimbals, and it used its real name for that. And that was also the name that was given to this place when it was used in the Elf movie as well. It's a sign of the times. If you haven't been to New York for a while, you'll notice a few different things in touristy places. Pop up COVID-19 testing, although for travel, America conveniently did away with the need for testing the day after I arrived here. After you have your COVID-19 test, if you want to have your nostril pried, you can head right next door. And of course, in the state of New York, it's now legal to sell weed, so they've got all these dispensers at the side of the street. Personally, I think the streets now stink because of it, but if that's your thing, you can go and get your trippy treats, it says.